Now on Fox 14, going to take a look at today's Black Friday shopping action in Joplin.
Amazon workers in the U.S. and 30 other countries are walking out in protest on the busiest shopping day of the year. I'm Garrett Tenney in Chicago with the details coming up.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Love it or hate it, it's Black Friday, and the race for bargains is underway. It has been for some time now. It appears some local brick and mortar retailers are bringing in the green this Black Friday. We checked out some Joplin stores earlier this morning, a few hours ago now, where the crowds are off and running with this unofficial start to the holiday shopping season. We found plenty of local shoppers who were happy with their bargain hunting.
This is my first Black Friday, and the stores haven't been too packed. The deals are pretty good this year, and I've had a really good time so far.
I've had a great time. I got my hands on the PlayStation 5. Haven't been to all year, so that was pretty cool.
Day started early for a lot of shoppers. People lined up long before some stores opened. By the time Joplin's Target store opened at 7 a.m., plenty of people were bundled up waiting to get inside. It was a similar scene over at Joplin's 15th Street Walmart. People were lining up outside that store as early as 4:25 this morning, waiting for the 6 a.m. opening. It's not for me, let me tell you. Law officers say the early shopping went smoothly, though, with no incidents at Joplin's largest Walmart. There were plenty of early birds outside Joplin's Kohl's store as well. Our reporter at the scene says people started lining up there by 4:30 this morning, and about 300 were waiting when the doors opened at 5 a.m. One extra incentive, my wife knew about this, let me tell you. Kohl's handed out prize cards to people who were waiting in line. As Americans hit the stores looking for sales, Amazon workers were fighting for better working conditions. They took their battle right to the doorsteps of the company's founder, Jeff Bezos. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney explains.
Americans returning to a familiar holiday pattern as Black Friday shoppers hit the streets to find deals. Many we spoke to say their mission today was clear: score big on gifts and save money doing it.
We love to just come out and see what's going on Black Friday. It's just fun. I feel like the excitement of the holidays starts on Black Friday.
According to Adobe Analytics, Thanksgiving sales hit a record $5.3 billion Friday, with mobile shopping driving 55% of the sales, even as inflation worries plague the country.
I'm always shopping, whether in-store or online, so any deals is good for me.
While some shoppers say it doesn't matter where the deal is coming from as long as they save money, others say they will stick to their Black Friday tradition of waking up early to shop until they drop.
It's more fun to do it in person because you get to interact with other people and you kind of get to see it in person. I'm a hands-on person, so I like to buy stuff like at the store.
But not everyone out today is shopping. Amazon workers across America and in 30 other countries are protesting, demanding better pay and working conditions. In New York, workers and labor activists stood shoulder to shoulder in a massive global day of action called, quote, Make Amazon Pay Day, shining a spotlight on retail workers on the biggest shopping day of the year. The National Retail Federation is predicting 166 million Americans will shop between now and Cyber Monday. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Rewind to yesterday. Online shoppers spending big on Thanksgiving. Americans spending a record $5.29 billion shopping online yesterday. Adobe, which tracks online sales, says the amount is a 2.9% increase over last year. The increase is said to be driven by demand, not inflation. This coming as recent years have seen Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday sales dropping because of many retailers offering deals before the Thanksgiving holiday. Those Black Friday sales don't end today, obviously. Area chambers of commerces promote the day after Black Friday as Small Business Saturday, so don't forget about them. Plenty of local stores plan sales throughout the weekend and beyond. We found some shoppers over in Pittsburgh who aren't waiting to support their local retailers.
Growing up in Pittsburgh, seeing the vibrant downtown and seeing businesses start to populate and having the ability to walk from store to store, supporting the small businesses and keeping them alive and vibrant, I think adds to this downtown appeal.
Shopping in this community is great. We love Jock Snitch for all of our swag needs. They're running a 40% discount on Adidas apparel. I got a new pair of shoes for $70 off and a dope Pitt State long sleeve t-shirt that I'm going to get swole in at the gym.
Well, there you go. The Small Business Administration says Small Business Saturday was founded by Amex, American Express, back in 2010 and has been officially co-sponsored by the SBA ever since 2011. Some four-staters in Humboldt, Kansas are taking a break from the stress of the holidays by doing something really cool. Bicycling around Humboldt's historic Holiday Square. Beautiful Beautiful square too, beautiful decorations. There were some lights, as we're seeing right there. Seasonal music was also played.
We're like gonna play we're gonna do like the hot chocolate and ride my bike around a lot. And like there's a bunch of decorations, so maybe we'll go look at those.
Yeah, I definitely love doing this small community, and it does make me feel safe. I feel close to a lot of people here.
Shoppers on the square were open for snacks. The shops on the square were open for snacks, drinks, and gift purchases as well. A local fishing team is gearing up for their next tournament at Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. KOAM's Carrie Worthen hopped on a boat today to speak with them about their prep. Also some thoughts on recent cheating in Ohio that made national news.
I grew up, that was my dream to fish, so that's...
Mine's baseball.
Lee's is baseball.
Levi Snow and his son Lee are a fishing team out of Columbus Bass Club in Columbus, Kansas.
Oh, I spend time with my dad. I have fun, and that's it.
Levi qualified for the National Bass Team Championship in South Carolina. Unfortunately, his partner has to be 16 years of age or older, so he brought in his friend Ben.
Basically a tournament for all the team trails across the United States, and then they send their best team to this tournament, and whoever wins this tournament moves on to the Bassmaster Classic.
A lot of preparation, money, and time go into getting ready for a tournament. I asked Levi what he thought about the recent cheating that went on with the walleye fish at Lake Erie.
To me, it's terrible because everybody else spends all this time actually, just like I said, all the time that went into this. You spend hours prepping for a tournament like this, and then somebody just throws weights down them. That is just unethical. Also putting lots of money on the line too. It's not just the time.
But you can't catch them all.
So how the fish, it was like it jumped out of the water, went back in the water, then just gone.
Fishing is everything to me. That is really why I get out of bed besides my kids. That's second or first most, shall I say. But then fishing has been there, just been there my whole life. That is what I do. You can ask my wife. That's what I think about 24/7 pretty much, and that's why I'm very involved in the Columbus Bass Club as well, and we're helping it grow, and that is how I qualified, was through the Columbus Bass Club, which is awesome. They say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and if I fished every day, I would never work a day in my life. So that is the ultimate goal.
A lifestyle and hobby holding true in Southeast Kansas. Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Levi Snow says if you're interested in joining a local fishing group, the Columbus Bass Club is open. You can find more information for it on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Galena police officers have been busy lately, but not for what you might think, thankfully. Today they were doing a fundraiser with the fire department. The fundraiser is called the Galena Boot Block, and they raise money for kiddos to have a good Christmas. All proceeds go towards toys for the kids. Earlier in the week, they gave out free turkeys to families leading to Thanksgiving. Millions of Americans are on the move this holiday weekend and shelling out more to do it. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Flock has more from Philly International Airport.
Millions of Americans are on the move following the Thanksgiving holiday. The TSA says it screened more than 2.4 million passengers on Wednesday. That's just 6% lower than pre-pandemic levels, and it's going pretty well. As the airlines prepare for another rush over the holiday weekend, officials are reminding people, don't plan on arriving at the last minute.
We just always remind them to give yourself time during the holidays, especially if you're traveling with children.
Passengers are also shelling out more to travel this year. Airfare spiking 43% compared to 2021. And on the roads, drivers being hit with gas prices about 20 cents higher per gallon than last year.
I'm not worried about the economy right now. I mean, inflation is tough.
The cost of travel is definitely up, so that's why we came in a little bit early, and we're going to be going home a little bit earlier.
Yet another concern for airline passengers, fewer options to fly, with a lingering pilot shortage forcing carriers to cut back on schedules. That means the estimated 3.4 million people flying on Sunday could be in for a bumpy ride. But most say it's worth it if they can celebrate the holidays at home.
It definitely means family. We planned this trip the last minute, but I'm really looking forward to seeing my mom.
The AAA says 55 million people will be traveling this Thanksgiving holiday on planes, trains, and automobiles. And so far, so good. At Philadelphia International Airport, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
KOAM News on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Johnny Fitz served in the U.S. Marines from 1962 to 1990, taking part in the Cuban Missile Crisis. In part of that time, he was stationed in the Dominican Republic and Vietnam, earning several awards, including 3 Purple Hearts. We are proud to thank and salute Johnny Fitz, native of Knoll, Missouri, by the way. He's tonight's Ford State hero. Coming up, a mass shooting investigation.
We're learning chilling new details about what led up to Tuesday's mass shooting at a Virginia Walmart. I'm Mark Meredith. We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up.
The Walmart shooter, he was a supervisor who worked at Walmart, killed 6 co-workers in Virginia, left behind what he called a death note on his phone, apologizing for what he was about to do. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has more now from Washington.
Police say before killing 6 people inside a Virginia Walmart, 31-year-old Andre Bing left a note on his cell phone explaining why he went on a rampage. On Friday, investigators released the so-called death note. It appears Bing blamed his co-workers and Satan for his behavior. He wrote in part, quote, "The associates gave me evil, twisted grins, mocked me, and celebrated my downfall the last day. That's why they suffer the same fate as me."
It just really hasn't processed to me that we're in the middle of an active shooting and your manager is the one doing it. I think seeing him doing it is what threw me off.
For people who live and work in Chesapeake, Virginia, the shooting hours before Thanksgiving has been especially heartbreaking. Vigils and makeshift memorials continued throughout the area. On Thursday, a retired police officer donated 6 handmade crosses, hoping to show the victims' families they're not forgotten.
Hopefully it just gives the family a little bit of closure. Just let the families and friends of people who are affected know that we're here to support them.
While the community mourns, lawmakers nationwide are asking what else can be done to prevent future mass shootings. President Biden says the solution, additional gun control measures.
The idea we still allow semi-automatic weapons to be purchased is sick. It's just sick. It has no social redeeming value. 0, none.
Police say the shooter did not have a criminal record and that he purchased the gun used in the attack legally only hours before the shooting. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, the psychological motivator behind Black Friday shopping.
Well, at least we got the sunshine back for us. Today's just not going to stick around for long because we have clouds rolling right back in for us tonight, and our next part of the storm system that gave us rain yesterday will start to affect us over the weekend. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, zooming in. It was a better day today. We went mid to upper 50s for afternoon highs. Of course, we've dropped off now. We're sitting at 36 in Nevada, 38 in Sarcoxie. We have 42 in Grove, 42 in Afton. Pittsburgh is at 34. Chanute's at 34. Let's go to 7th and Rangeline. Currently outside, sitting at 38. Northerly winds are light. Humidity kind of high, 86%. Through the rest of the overnight hours, look how the clouds increase. We drop back upper 30s. So it's going to be cold, but the clouds increase ahead of this next part of the system. Still clear skies now. Look what's going on down south. Look at all the rain, which is developing across parts of Texas and then stretching back through New Mexico. And this is, you can see the twist, the upper level low. And this upper level low is going to track just south of us as we go through the next 36 hours. This spin will spin out right into northwestern parts of Arkansas. All right, let's go through time. For the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, by morning, we have the clouds, upper 30s. As we go through the morning hours, some light showers will start to develop. Not persistent, light by the noon hour. Most of the heavier persistent rain gets in here after 2 or 3 p.m. So we have some high school football playoff games. The second half of the games will definitely start to get wet. As we go into the evening hours, rain picks up. A little bit of thunder mixed in, heavy at times through tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. Here's 11 p.m. Periods of showers continue all night long. And then finally, here's Sunday morning, start to advance out, but the clouds stick around throughout the daytime hours on Sunday. But really not too bad of a day, at least the entire weekend's not going to be rain. Now, we need the rain. It just stinks it's happening on a weekend. All right, rain chances. Look where so here's 9 a.m., here's noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9, midnight, 3 a.m. So you can see when the best chances for rain will occur. 42 to start, 50 by noon, 50 by 5, high temp of 50 with the rain increasing. How much are we going to get? Most of us have pretty good amounts. This is going to be widespread, so everybody's going to get rain. I'd say on average, half an inch to an inch across the region, which, hey, we need. 50 tomorrow, 46 morning showers on Sunday, 57 on Monday, looks pretty good. Showers move in late Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday look good, and then rain increases again for us next weekend. Temperatures all over the place. Jordan?
Doug, thank you so much. Coming up, a look at how Black Friday has capitalized, so to say, on human psychology. The busy shopping season is here, in case you didn't know. Americans are out and about grabbing killer deals. But believe it or not, there's a psychological motivator here as well. Maybe you did, but we're going to spell it out for you, okay? Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has the story.
Let's get you guys in and out. Thank you.
'Tis the season to shop until you drop.
Black Friday shopping.
This weekend is expected to be a record breaker for retailers. The National Retail Federation is predicting 166.3 million Americans will shop through Cyber Monday. Consumer experts say despite the ongoing pandemic and inflation woes, excitement is still in the air.
It's better than online shopping just because they can touch it, feel it, and they can take it home and not the stress of shipping on top of other fees that they need. And I mean, they got to take it home that day, wrap it up, and put it under the Christmas tree.
So why do crowds still flock to stores for one of the best shopping days of the year? Well, some health officials say there are psychological factors to consider, like a person's FOMO or fear of missing out.
Ultimately, the one neurotransmitter that is probably most to blame, if you will, for this kind of phenomenon is the rush and the flood of dopamine that we get, which is kind of that it really hits that kind of feel good and you know, that instantaneous kind of desire.
That fear of missing out had eager shoppers lining up hours before stores even opened their doors. Some of the people we caught in line Friday say it is well worth it to save a few bucks.
Honestly, I just like getting things for cheap. My little brother, he's into like gaming and everything, so I'm probably going to get him a new gaming computer.
If you didn't get a chance to shop brick and mortar this Black Friday, fear not. Cyber Monday is just around the corner. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Next, going to meet Winston, who has a few bragging rights now. The ever crowd-pleasing French bulldog Winston was declared best in show. Yeah, I'm going to get to that, Doug Henry, what you said, okay. Declared best in show at Philadelphia's prestigious National Dog Show, Thanksgiving Day. That is not a French bulldog. Did we see a French bulldog earlier or no? Well, we're going to get to it. I'm going to keep talking until we get to it, okay? Really? Really? Winston has 78 best in shows in his career. Perry Payson of Bixby, Oklahoma, guided Winston to the win as handler. Now, let me keep on the video, okay? Dylan, keep on the video. Doug Henry, there we go. Goodness, there we go. Oh, my goodness. Winston, oh, that's a cutie, too. All right, so Winston looks exactly like one of your dogs, huh? Or both your dogs, right?
Well,
one of them. Okay. So, and that's King Charles, I think, so. I don't know. All right. I did it. I talked long enough. Man. All right, 30 more minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. Why Arkansas and Missouri received poor grades for the number of premature infant deaths.
Could Congress and the White House be ready for a new generation of leaders to take the reins? I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with a raging debate on an aging set of leaders.
Coffeyville, Kansas man is sentenced for the murder of a woman. Authorities say Donald Collins was under suspicion of murder after they responded to a potential overdose. 50-year-old Nina Lee of Coffeyville was pronounced dead on the scene. Collins is sentenced to for second-degree murder, also interference of law enforcement for 18 years, the Department of Corrections with supervised probation for 36 months. A failing grade for Arkansas when it comes to the number of premature infant deaths. And Missouri isn't doing much better. Noah Tucker takes a look at the latest numbers from both states.
Healthcare expansion is a top priority here in the state of Arkansas, especially when it comes to expecting mothers. The latest data from the March of Dimes only reflects that need. March of Dimes is an organization focused on the health of mothers and babies. Its latest report looks at factors that reflect the health care provided to those groups. Arkansas's report card didn't look good. It received an F grade with a 12% preterm birth rate, something that may largely be a result of rural health coverage.
One of the things we are working on as an agency to help with rural health access is the #1 problem, particularly to specialty care.
And Missouri didn't score much better, graded a D- with an 11.3% preterm birth rate. One component is inadequate prenatal care, which 1 in 5 expecting mothers in Arkansas is faced with, and in Missouri, nearly 1 in 7.
This is a pivotal time in the history of pregnancy care centers, because with the fall of Roe, we have the opportunity as Arkansas to make sure women understand that they are not alone.
Organizations like Informed Women's Choices work to help connect mothers with such services.
Well, we've been really busy. I mean, we have had a steady stream of clients asking for nurses to give them pregnancy tests, to give them ultrasounds to see, if their pregnancy is viable, if there is a heartbeat.
Rhonda Graham, director of the organization, says she feels its role is important now more than ever. And sometimes that early help can be key in avoiding preterm births. The state of Arkansas has placed a focus on expanding rural health care and access to maternal services.
In rural areas in particular, sometimes it is a 30-minute drive, and then maybe that doctor's office only has like 1 or 2 physicians trying to see that whole community.
Hopeful for progress to be made.
I mean, anytime you get state leaders willing to invest in pregnancy centers all across Arkansas, that is a great day, because funding is a big issue.
Earlier this year, Governor Asa Hutchinson announced coordination between the Department of Health and Human Services to expand Medicaid and maternal services. Could the joy of eating some of those delicious high-fat foods come back to cause the body pain? The University of Texas Dallas study says there may be payback to your body for eating foods high in fat. The study says eating a high-fat diet for a short period of time can itself cause body pains. Tests done giving high-fat foods to mice found a type of acid that's a common saturated fat and binds to nerve cells and leads to inflammation. The researchers encourage avoiding high-fat diets for everyone, especially for those already experiencing pain. The nation is already gearing up for another presidential election, and the newly elected Congress is getting ready to begin. But there are calls for a younger crowd of leaders in the legislative and executive branches of the U.S. government. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard taking a look at aging Congress.
You might not have heard I'm 83. Because hardly anybody ever mentions that.
Top House Democrats, including Speaker Nancy Pelosi, announced they are making way for a younger crowd of leaders.
The hours come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect.
While stepping down from leadership, Pelosi and her top lieutenant are keeping their seats, and they're not the only ones. In fact, almost a quarter of Congress is older than 70, with the average age of representatives at almost 58 and a half and senators 64. Compare that to the average age of all Americans, just over 38.
Look, I'm not going anywhere.
The oldest sitting senators are Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Grassley at 89 years old. Grassley just won re-election and will be well into his 90s before the end of his next 6-year term. On the other side, at just 25 years old, the minimum age the Constitution allows, the first member of Gen Z, Florida Congressman-elect Maxwell Frost, will be sworn in January. Younger lawmakers historically have fewer positions of power and a harder time staying in office.
It's especially hard to take on an incumbent. When you're a first-termer, that's when you're most vulnerable.
And it's not just Congress. When it comes to the Oval Office, President Biden just celebrated his 80th birthday. And currently, the only declared 2024 candidate, former President Trump, would be 78 years old at the next inauguration.
And polls do show that most people do not want a rematch of Biden versus Trump in 2024. So that's one to watch. I do think that there is some yearning for younger leadership.
President Biden has said he will assess his 2024 plans over the holidays, calling it a family decision. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A bit later, the legal fight over a new abortion medication.
Well, at least we got the sunshine back for us today. It's just not going to stick around for long because we have clouds rolling right back in for us tonight, and our next part of the storm system that gave us rain yesterday will start to affect us over the weekend. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, zooming in. It was a better day today. We went mid to upper 50s for afternoon highs. Of course, we've dropped off now. We're sitting at 36 in Nevada, 38 in Sarcoxy. We have 42 in Grove, 42 in Afton. Pittsburgh is at 34. Chanute's at 34. Let's go to 7th and Rangeline. Currently outside, sitting at 38. Northerly winds are light. Humidity kind of high, 86%. Through the rest of the overnight hours, look how the clouds increase. We drop back upper 30s. So it's going to be cold, but the clouds increase ahead of this next part of the system. Still clear skies now. Look what's going on down south. Look at all the rain, which is developing across parts of Texas and then stretching back through New Mexico. And this is, you can see the twist, the upper level low. And this upper level low is going to track just south of us as we go through the next 36 hours. This spin will spin out right into northwestern parts of Arkansas. All right, let's go through time. For the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, by morning, we have the clouds, upper 30s. As we go through the morning hours, some light showers will start to develop. Not persistent, light by the noon hour. Most of the heavier persistent rain gets in here after 2 or 3 p.m. So we have some high school football playoff games. The second half of the games will definitely start to get wet. As we go into the evening hours, rain picks up. A little bit of thunder mixed in, heavy at times through tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. Here's 11 p.m. Periods of showers continue all night long. And then finally, here's Sunday morning, start to advance out, but the clouds stick around throughout the daytime hours on Sunday. But really not too bad of a day, at least the entire weekend's not going to be rain. Now, we need the rain. It just stinks it's happening on a weekend. All right, rain chances. Look where so here's 9 a.m., here's noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9, midnight, 3 a.m. So you can see when the best chances for rain will occur. 42 to start, 50 by noon, 50 by 5, high temp of 50 with the rain increasing. How much are we going to get? Most of us have pretty good amounts. This is going to be widespread, so everybody's going to get rain. I'd say on average, half an inch to an inch across the region, which, hey, we need. 50 tomorrow, 46 morning showers on Sunday, 57 on Monday looks pretty good. Showers move in late Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday look good, and then rain increases again for us next weekend. Temperatures all over the place. Jordan?
Doug, thanks again. The U.S. Postal Service gearing up for its Operation Santa program. It allows kids or parents in need to send letters to Santa with whatever their Christmas wish list is. Fox's Danny Masson has more.
Operation Santa is an online platform through USPS that allows families in need to send a letter to Santa asking for a Christmas gift.
This program has been around for 110 years, so it's a labor of love that we've been able to offer to the community.
From anywhere in the United States, people can write a letter with their gift request on the USPS Operation Santa website, and adoptees pick the letter that stands out to them the most.
The process is pretty simple. Once you adopt a letter, you package up the gift and take it to your local USPS office to drop it off.
You'll never know the last name of the child, you'll never know their address, but you will know that you're making a difference in someone's life.
Communications specialist with the U.S. Postal Service tells me they could see a big need for this service this year, especially due to inflation.
I know that economic times, the way they are challenging this year. And because of that, we could see an increase in USPS OperationSanta.com letters.
There are some deadlines and tips to be aware of. Make sure you have your full return address when sending the letter. For letter writers, it is recommended that you send the letter no later than December 12th. To adopt letters, the deadline is December 19th. Spurgeon tells me there are alternative options for bigger gift requests.
If you're an adopter and you see that in there saying, I want a gigantic dollhouse for Christmas, you might not be able to mail that, but you can mail a gift card.
A neat program, right? Coming up in sports, going to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, on this week's matchup with the Rams. Plus, Carthage Tigers aiming to return to the state championship game for the first time since 2019. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Carthage Tigers are in the Final Four in the Missouri Class 5 state football bracket. The Tigers play at home tomorrow afternoon, hosting the Francis Howell Vikings. for a spot in the state title game. Now, the Tigers got in their final practice today before tomorrow's state semifinal matchup. Carthage is 11-1 heading into the weekend, while the Vikings are a perfect 12-0. Now, with the win tomorrow, the Tigers would return to the state title game for the first time since 2019 and have a shot at the second state championship in program history.
That's the goal. That's been the goal since the first week of June, and these guys have stuck to it. I think it would mean the world to these guys and to our community. We do have some kids that played on that state championship team, Luke Gall and Hudson Moore, and those guys bring a certain level of experience because of that.
It's been a completely different environment out here this week. We had an extra day. We grinded that day, and we had a good early morning practice on Thanksgiving. It was a great week.
This is a great place to be on any regular Friday night, but in the playoffs and particularly semifinals, I believe it's the second one we've hosted here in the last 4 or 5 years, so it's a special time. It really is, and I'm hoping for a huge crowd and lots of fun.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 8-2 this season and have won 4 games in a row. Now, last week, they went on the road and beat the Chargers 30-27. This week, Kansas City returns home, hosting the Rams. Like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
Yep, chess is a fascinating game. 64 squares on an 8x8 grid with 16 pieces. The Chiefs are playing chess this year, and with the recent injuries, they're going to need all these pieces. The 2022 Chiefs are also zeroing in on an NFL record. Chiefs senior team reporter Matt McMullen and I are having fun with this one. The Chiefs have had 10 different players so far catch touchdown passes. Now, the NFL record is 13, but 8 different teams have done that. No NFL team has had 14 different receivers catch touchdown passes in a single season. That record is in jeopardy. Just watch the next 7 weeks. Now, this week, the champions of Super Bowl 56, the Rams, meet the champions of Super Bowl 54, the Chiefs, in another version of NFL chess on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by KOAM Jewelry. Every day's game day, KOAM Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's Chiefs-Rams game kicks off at 3:25 right here on Fox 14. The Chiefs, by the way, are 15.5-point favorites. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Over the government's approval of a new abortion medication. Fox News correspondent Jillian Turner has the details.
It's time that a court does what the FDA should have done a long time ago.
Legal group the Alliance Defending Freedom, or ADF, is suing the Biden administration, seeking to reverse FDA approval of mifepristone, the so-called abortion pill.
The FDA has a responsibility to protect the American people from dangerous drugs. But it failed America's women and girls when it approved dangerous chemical abortion drugs.
The share of American women seeking pill abortions is rising nationwide. Mifepristone, a hormone drug, accounts for about 54% of all U.S. abortions today. Family planning doctors now offer women virtual visits with no scans or physical exams required for a prescription.
The actual telemedicine visit they can do from their phone.
They even offer workarounds for pregnant women in states like Arizona, where abortions are banned.
Intercommerce between states is legal. And so the medicine will have to be picked up in California, and the closest border town is Blythe.
The ADF says at-home abortions via pill pose unique dangers to pregnant women, but some reproductive health clinicians disagree, insisting the FDA publish new data on adverse events reported with use of mifepristone through June 2021. Bottom line, medication abortion with mifepristone is very, very safe. The FDA says the rate of side effects for mifepristone is under 1%, or 26 deaths among 4.9 million women who took mifepristone from its approval in 2000 through June of 2021. At issue in this lawsuit is the underlying data to back up these claims. Now, anti-abortion groups say the risks and side effects of the drug to women have not been adequately studied in clinical settings. In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
Top Gun Maverick heading to online streaming. Hollywood Nation is coming your way. A new group of nominees have been announced. A record-breaking film is headed to Paramount Plus and more. Here's Fox's Christian Goodwin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Let's watch a sitcom or something.
Driver fights to survive. Maverick streams and indie movies get the spotlight in the Hollywood Nation.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
The film nominees for the 2023 Film Independent Spirit Awards have been announced. Everywhere All at Once tops the list with 8 nominations, including Best Feature, Best Director, and Best Lead Actor for Michelle Yeoh. Yeoh will go up against Cate Blanchett, who earned a nod for her role in the musical thriller Tar. The film picked up a total of 7 nominations. The nominees in the television category will be announced December 13th. Awards will be handed out during the annual ceremony taking place in Santa Monica, California, March 4th. Tom Cruise's blockbuster sequel, Top Gun Maverick, will make its streaming debut just in time for the holidays. The film will be available on Paramount Plus December 22nd, 7 months after landing in theaters. It ranks as the highest-grossing film of 2022, having made more than $1.4 billion worldwide at the box office.
Something I could do. I wish I could outthink the problem.
And Netflix offers another glimpse at its upcoming dark comedy, White Noise. Set in the 1980s, the film features Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig as a Midwestern couple who, along with their children, fight to survive an apocalyptic event. It opens in theaters Friday, followed by its streaming debut on December 30th.
We have a situation.
In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.